Most people think stress comes from having too much to do. That's not true. Some of the most stressed people are lying in bed, on vacation, watching Netflix, doing absolutely nothing. So why can't they relax? Why does their mind keep racing? Why do they feel guilty when they rest? Why do they feel exhausted even after sleeping? And why does life feel harder than it should? Today, I'm going to show you something that most people never realize. Because your problem may not be stress. Your problem may be that your nervous system has forgotten what safety feels like. And once you understand that, everything starts to make sense. Stay with me, because one idea later in this video completely changed how thousands of people understand stress. The biggest lie about stress. Let's start with something controversial. Most people think stress is the enemy. I don't. Stress is actually one of the most intelligent systems in your body. Its job is simple: keep you alive. If your brain sees danger, it creates stress. The problem? Your brain doesn't know the difference between a tiger chasing you and an unread email, a bad childhood memory and a real threat, an argument from yesterday and a danger happening right now. To your nervous system, stress is stress. And that's where everything starts. Imagine a smoke detector. If there's a fire, you want it to go off. But what happens when the smoke detector becomes too sensitive? Now it goes off. When you cook, when you shower, when you make toast, when nothing is wrong. That's what happens to many people's nervous systems. The alarm stays on, even when life is relatively safe. And the scary part? You get used to it. You start believing, this is just who I am. It's not. Have you ever felt stressed for no obvious reason? Comment yes, if you've experienced that. I read every comment. Why rest doesn't work. This might upset some people. Rest is not the same as recovery. Let me say that again. Rest is not recovery. You can spend 6 hours on the couch and still feel exhausted. Why? Because your body is resting. But your mind is still fighting invisible battles. You're replaying conversations, predicting disasters, solving problems that don't exist, arguing with people who aren't even in the room. The body stopped. The stress didn't. Coming up, I'm going to explain the strange reason some people actually feel uncomfortable when life gets calm. And once you see it, you won't unsee it. Why peace feels uncomfortable. This is one of the most important things you'll hear today. For some people, peace feels dangerous. Not because peace is dangerous, but because it's unfamiliar. If you've spent years worrying, overthinking, people-pleasing, surviving, being hypervigilant, then calm feels strange. Your brain starts asking, shouldn't I be doing something? Am I forgetting something? What if something goes wrong? And suddenly, you create stress just to feel normal again. Many people are addicted to urgency without realizing it, not because they enjoy it, because it's familiar. Let me tell you a story. There was a woman named Sarah. At least, that's what we'll call her. If you looked at her life from the outside, you'd think she had everything under control. She was always busy, always moving, always doing something. Her calendar was packed. Her phone never stopped buzzing. She volunteered. She helped friends. She worked hard. She answered messages immediately. She was the person everyone could count on. And people admired her for it. You're amazing. I don't know how you do it.
"You never stop." Those comments felt good, but there was something nobody saw. Sarah couldn't sit still. Not really. If she had 10 minutes of free time, she'd find something to clean, something to organize, someone to help, something to fix. Anything. Because the moment life got quiet, something uncomfortable showed up. Her thoughts. Questions she didn't want to answer. Feelings she didn't want to feel. A loneliness she couldn't explain. A sadness she couldn't name. So she stayed busy, not because she loved being productive, because productivity was a distraction. Years passed. Then, one day, something happened. Nothing dramatic, no major crisis, no breakdown, just a simple moment. She was sitting alone on a Sunday afternoon. No work, no plans, no responsibilities, no noise. Just silence. And for the first time in years, she noticed how uncomfortable that silence felt. It almost felt dangerous. Within minutes, she reached for her phone, then stopped. She asked herself a question she had never asked before. What am I trying so hard to avoid? And the answer hit her harder than she expected. She wasn't afraid of being unproductive. She was afraid of being alone with herself. The busyness wasn't helping her escape failure. The busyness was helping her escape feelings. Old hurts, old fears, old insecurities. Things she had buried under years of constant motion. That day changed everything, because she realized something most people never realize. She wasn't running toward success. She was running away from stillness. And those are not the same thing. Success creates freedom. Running from yourself creates exhaustion. One gives you energy, the other slowly drains it. And maybe that's why some of us feel so tired. Not because we're doing too much, but because we're using activity to avoid what silence might reveal. So here's a question. When life gets quiet, do you feel peaceful? Or do you immediately look for something to distract yourself? Because your answer might tell you more about your stress than anything else.
The hidden cost of people-pleasing. Let's talk about something nobody wants to admit. Sometimes stress isn't caused by what you're doing. It's caused by who you're trying to be. The perfect employee, the perfect parent, the perfect partner, the perfect friend, the perfect person. That pressure becomes exhausting because perfection has no finish line. The moment you reach one expectation, another appears. And eventually, you stop living. You start performing. Quick question. What's harder for you? A. Saying no. B. Slowing down. Comment A or B. The overthinking trap. Here's another lie. Overthinking keeps me safe. No, it doesn't. Overthinking creates the illusion of control. It feels productive, but most of the time, it's mental spinning. Imagine sitting in a rocking chair. You're moving, but you're not going anywhere. That's overthinking. The goal isn't to think more. The goal is to think better. You don't need more answers. You need more trust. Trust that you can handle uncertainty. Trust that you can adapt. Trust that you can survive discomfort. Because certainty is impossible, and chasing certainty creates anxiety. The moment everything changes, here's the breakthrough. Your healing doesn't begin when stress disappears. Your healing begins when you stop fighting yourself. Read that again. Most people are at war with themselves. They're angry at themselves for feeling anxious, ashamed for feeling overwhelmed, frustrated because they're tired. But healing starts with understanding, not punishment. Your nervous system isn't broken. It's trying to protect you. It just learned some outdated rules, and those rules can change. If you've watched this far, I want you to hear something. You are not weak because you're tired. You are not failing because you're overwhelmed. You are not behind because you need rest. You are carrying things nobody can see, battles nobody knows about, pressure nobody understands, and yet you're still here, still trying, still searching, still fighting. That's strength, not weakness. Tonight, before you go to sleep, stop asking, "What's wrong with me?" Ask, "What happened to me that made stress feel necessary?" That single question can change everything. And if this video helped you see yourself differently, tell me one thing. What part of this video felt most true? I genuinely want to know.